While the ball was heavy, opposition to the forward pass was even heavier.
A lot of people criticize the forward pass as somehow being a feat, being a trick, not playing the game the way gentlemen should play the game, not being willing to slug it out, a kind of coward's trick.
While the Eastern establishment thought the forward pass was for sissies, a different mindset existed in the Midwest. The 1913 Notre Dame squad transformed the forward pass from a trick into a tactic. The Fighting Irish were led by quarterback Gus DeRay and an end named Rockne. When the Westerners from South Bend took a voyage eastward, the forward pass entered a brave new world.
Well, in 1913, we had Columbus coming to America in terms of football, and that's when Notre Dame showed up to play Army on the East Coast that season. Army was a great powerhouse that year. They were unbeatable, according to all the East Coast newspapers.
November 1st, 1913. Army versus Notre Dame on the plains at West Point. 500 persons packing the sidelines for the first appearance in the East of the Notre Dame team that holds no fears for the cadets, who are supremely confident of victory, certain that they will defeat the Westerners by a decisive score. And then the game is on. Doré, agile as a cat, cool as a cucumber, fades and passes to Knute Rockne for 25 yards. What a player that man Rockne.
What Notre Dame did different that day is that Doré and Rockne had worked out a button hook system where Rockne was running patterns, there were timing patterns, so that was different.
Rockne, Overton.
Rockne caught one of 3 touchdowns thrown by DeRay, who completed 14 passes in 17 attempts for 243 yards.
In some ways, you could almost call Notre Dame the first West Coast offense with what Doré and Rockne would do, with some of the planning they do with it. Rockne would cut back on a timing pattern with the quarterback, and nobody was doing that sort of thing, and the defensive backs couldn't react to it. They didn't understand that particular pattern.
Passes begin to sail through the air again, and before the cadets know what is going on, it's a great day for the Irish as the final score reads Notre Dame 35, Army 13.
What happens that's really important at West Point in 1913 is not the introduction of the forward pass, but the successful exploiting of the forward pass with the New York sports writers present.
The Notre Dame Army game in 1913 became a cultural touchstone. It became a part of the story of football.
The idea seems to be that we need a way to sort of explain that football at one point was just guys running into each other in the middle of the field, and it became this really expansive, dynamic, exciting game. There needs to be some point where we say, this is where it began. And the 1913 game is what we've picked.
Something happened never before seen in football.
So that's always going to be the story. There's never going to be a time when that game is not seen as the origin of passing as the most important part of football.
Knute Rockne didn't invent the forward pass, but he helped it take a giant step towards the future.